Hello, it's Joe here on Joyrider TV, ready for a stretch, and joined, of course, by the fabulous stretching guru, Karen. Or stretching. Yeah, so we'll just, So we'll just give it a minute to see if anybody else is going to tune in, and then we'll crack on. But thanks for joining us if you've just joined us. Always nice to have you on board for a stretch. I'll hand you over to the master.
I'm not sure if I'm a master, definitely not a guru. Today we'll do a nice all-round stretch, just to release lots of different nooks and crannies. Do take it easy. This is always meant for sort of general consumption. So if you have any injuries, do be mindful of that. And perhaps just get in touch if you're not sure how to modify things. It is going to work from sort of top to toe, and we'll start in a couple of minutes. I think you might want to grab something to sit on. A rolled up towel is always really useful if you don't have a yoga block. You might want a couple of books, or if you've got the yoga blocks, can you just show them? Then they're really helpful. We're going to do a little bit of work to release in the inner hips and groins, so sometimes you might need some support. And then a belt is always quite helpful as well. So Joe's going to be the model. I've unfortunately had a bit of an eye infection for a week, so my head down doesn't really work so much. So I will try and resist demonstrating anything. I'm going to turn the fan off because it's probably a bit extra noisy. And then we'll start. Do you think? You good?
Yeah, I think we should just crack on.
Crack on. Okay. Let's start seated. I'm going to start with our neck and shoulders. So if you find a nice comfortable seat, so if that means sitting on a chair, that's absolutely fine. If you can sit on the floor in a cross-legged position, that's great. And just take a moment just to feel your seat. So you've got those two sit bones, you want to feel they're as equal as you can get them. And then find that nice length to your spine. So lower back has a bit of a curve. And then from the top of the head, we're just extending up, sort of feeling like you're periscoping the head off the neck at the back. So you've got this nice length to the back of the neck. And then just let the shoulders just drop down. And just take a nice couple of deep breaths. So when you breathe in, we want the belly to expand. And when you breathe out, we're going to just draw the belly back and it lifts a little to the ribs. So breathing in, just feel the belly expand out, and breathe out and draw the belly button back and up. Just do one more of those. And then we'll try and keep this breath through the practice. Okay, so from here with that nice periscoped head, you're going to exhale and just drop the chin towards the chest, but try not to collapse the neck. Just feel more like you're lengthening the back of the neck up. And then inhale, draw the head to neutral. And as you exhale, head up, as if you're leading from the tip of the nose. Inhale through neutral. Exhale, chin drops towards chest with that feeling of lengthening back of neck. Inhale at neutral, and exhale, just draw the head up like you're just painting with your nose towards the ceiling. Inhale back to center. And then exhale, turn the head to your left and just feel like the shoulders are staying neutral here. They're not following you. Inhale, head through center, and exhale, head the other side. So when you turn, come back to center on the inhale, exhale to the other side. The opposite shoulder that you're turning from wants to follow. So just try and keep those shoulders as neutral as you can. Just notice how it feels through your neck today. And then we're just going to exhale, drop the left ear towards the left shoulder. Try not to raise that shoulder up. Keep the jaw nice and soft. And then if you want that little bit of extra stretch, you can draw that hand over. Just support the head. We're not really... Just that length from the ear down through the shoulder to the top of your shoulder, around your deltoid muscles. And then we're just going to walk that hand back in, support the head, draw it back up to center, and then the same on the other side. So you can drop the ear over. And then walk the hand away if you want a bit more stretch, and draw the arm up and over, and just a little bit of weight to the head rather than pulling it, and just noticing that side, keeping the jaw soft, noticing if you quite often clench your jaw. Stretching you're probably doing off your mat as well. And the other hand comes back. Good. So let's just give the shoulders a little bit of inhale, draw them up, and exhale, let them draw down and back. Just do that a couple of times. Just feel that nice roll of your shoulders. Good. Then bring your hands in front of you and interlock the fingers and press the palms away. And then draw the arms up and just feel your sit bones connect down as you press up through the wrists, pressing up through the palms of the hands, and try and roll the little finger sides of the hands back to the wall behind you. Imagine you're just squeezing your biceps towards your ears and squeezing the triceps of your arms. And then exhale, release, bring them down, and interlock the hands like that behind you, but press the heel of the hand. Keep that length through the crown and just lift the hands as far as is comfortable. Try not to collapse the head down and try not to lose that front of your body. So try and keep the lower ribs towards your hips a little. Take a couple of breaths there. And then exhale, release. Again, a little roll of the shoulders. And then take the right arm over front of you and bring the left arm just towards the forearm, a little higher, wherever you want. And then just draw the arm over and drop that shoulder down, the right shoulder. Try and raise up. And you can just feel around the outside shoulder and around the back of your shoulder blade, between the shoulder blade and your spine. Just take a couple of breaths into that space. And then release. And we'll do the same on the other side. So drawing the arm over, drop the shoulder down. And again, you can just feel that space opening up the back of your shoulder blade towards your spine, and just breathe into that space. Just feel that nice opening. Good. And then release. Again, just a little roll to release it out. Take an inhale, find length through your spine, and as you exhale, turn to the other side. So you're going to bring the other hand behind you. Try and find a little tool. Work with the exhale to rotate the mid-thoracic, the area around your mid-spine, and then through the collarbones and round. So you want to feel that those collarbones are drawing wide, that back shoulder drawing away from the front shoulder drawing away. And keep the jaw soft, just look over the back shoulder, feel that abdominal breath. And then we're going to turn it back, so head comes back, shoulders follow, and the ribs follow. And then we turn to the other side, finding length in the spine before we turn. And then we use that back arm just for a bit of support, so it might need to come in quite close. And again, we're finding that length as you inhale, that expanse of your belly. And as you exhale, belly button to spine, and perhaps there's a bit more space for your shoulders as you draw them apart a little, feeling that space in your collarbones. Another breath. And then let's turn from our head back to center, head, shoulders, thoracic spine. Come over onto all fours. Just come off your block, off your towel. And we'll just work the spine a little in the cat-cow, just to get that little bit of space through the spine. Knees are under your hips, hands are under your shoulders. We feel that equal weight left and right. And then we start to move. So try and make it like a wave through your spine. So as you inhale, the head's coming up and the tail being the last. And then as you exhale, let the tail come down first. The upper spine opens, the head drops. The inhale from the crown, the heart comes forwards, the belly expands, tail up. Exhaling, we drop the tail, belly to spine. We open that space between the shoulders and the top of the head drops. So just do a few of those. Feel that nice wave in your spine. Try and be aware that you're not just collapsing in your lower back on the inhale. And feel that nice space on the exhale between the shoulders. So just another one, inhaling and exhaling. And again, being mindful of our jaw, keeping our eyes soft. And then come back to neutral. Take your knees a bit wider than your hips and touch your big toes behind you. And you can sit back to child's pose. So bottom comes to your heels and your forehead to the earth, or you can have a towel under your head if you need to. And just feel here, stretch the arms out, try and have the elbows off the mat and roll the armpits into each other a bit. Feel that space in your shoulders. Okay, and then feel the length from your crown to your tail as you breathe in. Feel the breath in the back of your spine. And as you exhale, feel belly draw to spine and just take the breath out the mouth, drop the bottom a bit deeper to your heels. Feel the front of your hips soften. So just another breath. If that's not working for you, you can sit cross-legged and take a forward bend cross-legged if your knees don't like this position. Okay, and then we're going to just come up halfway. On an inhale, just lift our chest halfway. And you're going to walk your arms over, keeping bottom back. So just lifting chest. You're going to walk your arms, your chest over to your right. And you're going to drape your heart center over the right leg. Yeah. So you walk those arms as far out as you can. And then you feel like you've banana shaped that side body. So you should feel from your left fingers, if you've gone to the right, through the armpit, down through the ribs, into the waist, into your hip, that space. And you're just breathing into all that side body. Just another breath or so there. And then you're going to come back to center on the inhale and walk around to the other side with your exhale. And again, we're just stretching that side body. You don't have to go quite so far. We want the bottom staying back as much as we can to the heels. Again, if you're seated upright, you could do this in a side bend upright, just the arm to the floor and taking the top arm over. You get that side stretch there. Okay, and then we come back to center on the inhale and come up to all fours. Take the hands about a handspan distance in front of the shoulders. Tuck your toes under, just bring your knees back in line with your hips. And we'll find that down dog. So you're going to lift the bottom up high, keep the knees bent a little. Just feel the space of your shoulders here. So really press that thumb and first finger space down. Squeeze your upper arm, your backs of your arm muscles to your upper arm bones, and just roll those elbows forward slightly, the inner elbows if you can. Feel that length through your spine. So again, this is very much a spine stretch. And then from there, you can walk one heel, the other towards the mat, just releasing out the backs of your legs, just tuning into that space. Again, we've got this abdominal breath, trying to keep it as easy as we can. Noticing how it feels through the body. And perhaps if we notice there's a tight space, you can almost try and get the breath under that space. Sounds a bit strange, but if you can try and imagine you're taking the breath further than your lungs, down through the body, into that space. Okay, and then just look forwards and walk your feet to the front of your mat, and we'll find a forward bend. So you might need to stay with bent knees. You want your feet hip width apart, so there's a bit of space between your feet. And then you can let the head drop. You can hold your legs, you can hold your elbows, you can hold your feet if you feel awake enough. And then just notice the breath here. So as you breathe in, the belly expands. As you exhale, belly draws back. There's a bit of space. You can drop a bit deeper in the forward bend, maybe. Okay, and just take a couple of breaths there. Just notice your hamstrings, the backs of the legs. Notice the inner groins. Notice how your feet are on the mat. Try and keep them nice and spread and keep the inner arches of your feet lifted. Then just let the arms hang like a rag doll, and you're going to roll up. So just let the arms be loose and roll up. So your head's the last thing to try and roll up, rolling your vertebrae up one after the other, up to standing. Good. And then just find your balance there. Just feel that you've got the head stacked above your spine, and you've got your shoulders above your hips. And your hips above your ankles. vaguely. Okay, and hands to heart space. So we're just going to take an inhale, reach up, look towards your thumbs, feel two parallel lines. As you exhale, fold forwards, forward bend. Drop everything out your head, bend your knees as you need to. Take an inhale, drag the hands up the legs, find that length through the front spine. Exhale, drop back into the forward bend. Imagine you've got an eye at the top of your head looking down. Take an inhale, bend the knees slightly, press into your feet, reach wide and float up to standing, arms above you. Exhale, hands to heart space. We're going to do 2 more of those. Inhale, reach wide and look up. Keep the heels connected to the earth. Exhale, folding forwards from the hips. Inhaling, dragging the hands up the legs to find that long front spine. Exhale, dropping back in, remembering that eye at the top of your head. Take an inhale, reach wide, bend the knees a bit, press through the feet, come up, look to your hands, and exhale, float the hands back to the heart space. Once more, inhale, reaching up, exhale, folding in. Inhale, finding the length in the front body. Exhale, folding back in, just getting the body warmed up. Inhale, reach up, find your way up. And exhale, hands back to heart space. Good, we're going to do it again, okay? Yeah. Inhale, reach up. You can take it a bit further now. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, find the length in that front spine, drawing the arms up the legs. Exhale, plant the hands on the floor, bend the knees as you need to, and step your right leg back. Find a running lunge. So we want that knee above the ankle. We want the shin perpendicular. And then we want to feel the hips up to the midline. Feel your crown extend forwards and feel the inner heel on the back leg press back. So we're just going to hold it here a little. You might want the blocks underneath your hands. See how you feel. So you want to feel you've got space through the heart, through the collarbones. So try not to collapse too much. Really feel that length from your crown to your tail. And try not to drop the head too much. Then from here, we're going to step back and find that down dog shape. So you might want to bring your hands back to the earth now. And then lift the bottom high and find down dog. Just take a couple of breaths back at down dog. Feel the breath there. So we're back at neutral, back at symmetry. Good. And then I want you to look forwards and step the right leg up between the hands. So we're bringing that foot up to the front of the mat, between your hands, shins perpendicular. Maybe you want your hands on blocks again. We're stretching our crown from our back heel. We keep the hips so they're not collapsed down. And we've got that length, crown to heel, space in our collarbones. And we're just feeling that back thigh, back hip flexor on the back leg. Perhaps there's something in the groin on the front leg. Just noticing. Again, we're going to step it back and find our down dog. Just feeling the breath again at down dog. So you've got the option to stay with these higher lunges, or we're going to step that left foot forwards. And now we're going to drop the back knee down. So you want the shin perpendicular again on the front leg. And then the back foot can stay tucked, or the top of the foot can be on the mat. And then we're going to come up and reach our arms up to the ceiling to feel that we're sucking towards the midline with our inner thighs. And we can have the arms in a wide V if it's better for our shoulders. We can have the hands on the hips if we need to for our back. And we're really just feeling that back thigh, back hip flexor here. Feel your breath. Good. Then we're going to exhale, take the hands down. Again, just feeling the breath again, back at that down dog shape, back at neutral. Perhaps we notice now the heels can creep a bit lower to the floor, the legs can get a bit straighter. They don't have to become straight, but perhaps they're warming up a bit. And then we step the right leg forwards between the hands. And we take the low lunge on this side. So again, just settle in, get that front shin perpendicular, and then come up when you're ready, bringing arms up. And we're getting a little bit more into that hip flexor in the back thigh. We keep squeezing the inner thighs to each other. We try not to just collapse on the front thigh. We've got that feeling that we've got length in our spine. And we breathe deep here, noticing that back hip flexor again, noticing difference between right and left. And then drop the hands down to the earth and step back to your down dog and just take your breath there again. Just settle in. Feel the breath in down dog. Again, just notice the length of your spine. Feel that you've got that thumb and first finger connected, that length in your outer hips. And then let's step the right leg up between the hands. Drop the back knee down, and we're going to take that half splits position that we've been doing before. So you bring your bottom back, you can use your blocks under your hands again, and you lift the front toes from the mat. And then you can use the breath to ease in. So as you exhale, you fold over the front leg and meet your edge. You can inhale, come out a little, and exhale, fold back in, meeting the edge. You can do this a couple of times, just feeling your way in. And then when you found that edge that you feel it's interesting, something's happening in the back of the hamstring, just stay there, be with your breath. Notice that front foot. Try and have it so that the big toe side and the little toe side of the foot's drawing back. If the front leg's not straight, don't be a bit bent. And just feel the breath through here. Feel that front inner groin, back of that front leg, the hamstring. And then we're going to come forwards again on the inhale, finding that sort of lunge shape, and step back again to downward dog. It's easy to come in and out of to these lunges. If you need to drop the knees to find the lunges, you always can. So we're going to step the other foot forwards and drop the back knee. So we take this half splits position on this side, so dropping the bottom back as far as it's comfortable. We might notice one side's quite different again. We might want blocks where we didn't, perhaps on the other side. Again, perhaps you want to just fold in and out a little bit, finding your edge. Again, perhaps you need to keep the knee bent a little on this side. Just slowly easing in. Good, and then let's take that lunge shape again. Come forwards on your inhale. And then let's step back to the down dog one more time. And then from here, just walk your hands back to your feet. Find a forward bend again. So it might be that you still need the knees bent, that's fine. You might find you can come to more of a straight leg position, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Just notice that you're not straining, you're not forcing. Again, we want that neck nice and loose. So we want to feel that eye at the top of the head is just looking down to the floor, if you had one in the top of your head. And just settle the breath here. Feel the backs of those hamstrings. Notice if they're a bit easier from last time. Just breathing deep. Good. And then let's walk it back out to the down dog. And then we're going to take a lizard shape here. Okay, so this lizard is more of an inner groin stretch. It still gets that back thigh as well. So you're going to step the right foot up to the outside of the right hand if you can. So it might take a bit to get it there. You might want to drop the back knee to bring it there. You might again want your blocks for this one. To get a bit more space in that hip, turn the front toes out to 45 degrees. Okay, and then you can stay up like Joe is here on the hands. You can have blocks under the hands if you need to. You can drop the back knee down, that's quite helpful. We're all going to do that in a minute. And then you can come down lower if it feels comfortable. So if you feel okay, you can come down onto your forearms, or you can take the forearms onto blocks, bring your knee down at the back first. Okay, and then just still feel like you're dropping the hips down and forwards as you do this. So you should feel like it's a good stretch through that inner groin on the front leg and through that back inner back thigh, back hip flexor. You can rock a little here. It quite likes a little bit of movement, this pose. You can just feel a bit of rocking. You can even flap the leg a little if you want to, so you can roll the outer foot and then back to the big toe, so like the knee is dropping out and in again on that front leg if you want to. So you can just play with it a little, just ease around that space. So it's a little bit of a juicy stretch for some of us. We might need to stay up, we might need to be on those blocks. You don't have to go as low as Joe is here. Okay, and then if you have gone down, just come up and bring your left hand down to the floor. Keep pressing forwards with your hips and take your right hand to the inner thigh. Okay, and then you can just press that right leg out a bit and turn and look past the right shoulder a little here. Feel like you're drawing that right outer hip back. If you can, you keep the big toe side of the foot to the floor. And you just breathe there. So we're still lunging forwards, but we're just pressing the knee out. We're keeping outer hip back and we're opening the collarbones up a bit. And then drop the hand down. And we're going to step it back. You might find you make some groaning noises. You might suddenly feel like you've aged 50 years. You come back to your down dog. And just ease out there. You might want to walk the feet a bit. You might want to rock the hips a bit. Just have a little play. Okay, and then let's step the other foot up to the outside of the hand. And you can turn the toes again out so the heel's on the mat, the toes are off. And then just lunge forwards again here. And drop the back knee when you're ready to the mat. Notice this side. Again, maybe it's different. Maybe you want blocks underneath the hands. If it's comfortable, we drop down to the forearms. And again, notice that you might try and sneak out of the stretch by drawing the hips back. So we want to keep those hips down and forward slightly. You might walk the arms a bit further forwards maybe. And again, maybe you want to rock a bit side to side. Maybe you want to just feel a bit into those hips and groins. Maybe you want to flap that front knee by just rolling to the little toe side, bringing the big toe back. And just notice how it feels, just easing into all this space, gets very tight. So when you're sailing, this opening of the front of the hips, so you can get in and out on the trapeze, the hamstrings, and these inner hips and hip flexors are quite helpful, from what I understand. Okay, and then you're going to come up, and you're going to bring that right hand underneath your shoulder, and then perhaps use the left hand again on the inner thigh, and just press that inner thigh out a bit. Keep your hips forwards. And keep the inner hip drawing back a bit here. And just breathe there. And just notice how that feels. Again, you can have your hand on a block if you need to. Try and keep that upper shoulder rolling back, keeping that space in the collarbones. And then drop the hands down and step back to your down dog. Again, just ease it back. Good. Little wiggle as you need to. And then let's step that right foot up to the front of the mat. Okay, and we're going to say do the left foot for me. So you guys do right, but Joe's going to do the opposite foot for demonstrating purposes. Okay, and then we're going to come up and find Virabhadrasana 2. So you need to drop the back heel central to the mat. Back heel goes down central to the mat, and then you're going to use that left arm, your right arm, to come up and find Virabhadrasana 2. So front foot is at 90 degrees. Front knee is on top of the ankle. Front shin perpendicular. Okay, and then the arms are going to go wide here. And you're just going to feel the sit bones at the base of your pelvis down to your heels. Try and really connect down and feel that you've got space across those inner hips, inner groins. Just take a couple of breaths, really suck your arm muscles to your arm bones. Keep it nice and active. And then exhale the front elbow to the thigh and draw that top arm up and over. Find that side angle. So if you're feeling a bit more open, you can bring that front hand down behind the foot. You can have it on the earth, or for Joe, I would suggest a block under the hand. And then you're just feeling that that lower side body is long, the upper side body is nice and long. We're really active through that outer edge of the back foot, and we're open through the heart space. And then take a breath, feel the inner groins, inner thighs, and then come up on the inhale. We keep the legs as they are, but just straighten the front legs, keep the feet as they are. And then we're going to go sideways with straight legs. Hand to the left, or again it can come to the floor or the block. And then we've got that space through the front body, length from crown to tail. And we're creating triangular shapes here. So from the pelvis to the earth, we've got one triangle. From this front arm down to the leg to the hip is another triangle. And if you were to draw a line from the top hand down to the back foot, you've got another triangle. So it's 3 triangles that we're creating space here. And feel the breath again here in the body. Then inhale, reach up, and exhale, hands to hips. Turn your toes forwards, heels out. You might need to come in a bit with your feet. Okay, take an inhale, find a length through your front spine. And exhale, fold back into the forward bend. Drop the head again, so you've got that third eye, top of the head looking to the mat. And then notice your feet. Try and spread your toes, fan your toes, and lift the inner arches of your feet. But keep pressing the big toe mound and the inner heel down. And feel that you've got length through the outer edges of your legs down to your feet. And breathe. Notice again, inner thighs, inner groins, backs of legs. And then inhale, reach the heart space forwards. Exhale, hands to hips. Bend the knees a bit. Press into the feet and come up. Good. Let's take the left foot out to 90 degrees. Back toes are in a bit from the back heel. Bend the knee. Shin perpendicular. Reach the arms wide for that Virabhadrasana 2 shape. Good. Really feel the sit bones to heels connection. Feel the length through the shoulders, through the collarbones, out to fingers. And just look past your front fingers. Then exhale, front elbow to thigh or the hand down to the outer foot, to the earth or to your block. Again, keep that really reach through top arm. If it's too much for the shoulder, keep it up. And press the crown away from the tail. Try not to drop it below the spine, the head. Breathe deep. Again, this outer leg is really drawing towards the earth. We're drawing the inner thigh to the thigh bone. And then come up on the inhale. Straighten that front leg. And exhale, go sideways. Bring the hand down to the leg. Front leg straight, not locked. And keep that top arm up towards the sky. Again, that space across the collarbones. And those feet really well connected. Outer edge of back foot down. Big toe side of front foot connected. Just breathing deep. Imagine you're kind of leaning back into something a little bit. So you feel the breath really in that back body. Another breath. And then come up on the inhale, reach up high, come up. And exhale the hands to your hips. Turn your toes forwards. And then just take the heels in from your toes a bit. And drop down into your hips. So your hands are on your legs, on your inner thighs. Okay, so your feet would be at like 2 and 10 o'clock on a clock face. Then from here, just feel the sit bones drop down. Keep the knees tracking in low line with your toes. And press the right leg away and draw that right shoulder as if it's turning towards that left knee. So we're keeping the knees bent and we look past that top shoulder and you breathe here. So we keep the same position with our legs. We're just pressing the leg away, finding the length through the side body as we turn to look to the top shoulder. Take a breath there. And then turn back to center. Inhale. And exhale, press the other leg away, turning to look past your top shoulder. And just breathe there. Just feel that side body again. Feel the inner groins. Feel that you're dropping the pelvis down and back a little. And then inhale back to center and come to standing on the exhale. Good. And then you can just step up to the front edge of your mat and bring your feet a bit wider than your hips. So turn the toes out again if you're a bit tight through your hips and through your Achilles tendon, the back of your ankles. If you know that's a bit difficult for you when you come to squat, you might want to pop a rolled up blanket under your heels. Okay, we're going to come down into a squat. So you're going to have your feet slightly turned out if you need to. Keep the chest nice and high. Just drop down as if you're sitting down, but not dropping the bottom to the mat. If you need to, you can pop a block underneath your bottom. And then really lift high through your front body and just feel here the lower back and feel the inner hips. Just take a few breaths here. If this doesn't work for you, you can just go forwards into child's pose, which is a similar similar stretch. Okay, then drop that right hand down and reach the left arm up. Look deep up underneath that arm and breathe there. So the hand is down in front for support. And then come to center on the inhale. And exhale the opposite hand down. Reach the other arm high. Look deep up underneath the arm. Breathing deep. And then back to center on the inhale. And exhale, just come to sit on your bum and bring your legs out. Good. So have your feet quite close to the front edge of your mat, hip distance apart, and creep your bum right up towards your heels. Good, so right up towards your heels. You can just lie back from there onto your back. So we're just going to work a little bit of spinal work just to finish off. So you'll have your knees, heels just underneath your knees basically, and the feet hip distance apart, and really spread your toes. Lengthen the back of your pelvis towards your heels and bring your hands down beside you. Okay, check in with the back of the neck, keep it nice and long, keep the chin neutral. So as you breathe in, you're going to press the feet down, start to lift your arms up, lift your hips up, and bring the arms over to the floor behind you. So hips are coming off the mat. As you exhale, you're going to roll each vertebrae down to the mat. Arms are following you back. Hips coming down, arms coming over. Good. So inhaling, try and make it a fluid movement. We lift our arms, the pelvis starts to follow, arms go up and over. As you exhale, spine starts to roll down and arms follow the movement down and the pelvis is down. Good, so try and just get that fluid movement. Inhaling up, arms coming over. Keep those knees in line with your hips. Exhale, roll the spine down, vertebrae by vertebrae, bringing arms back. One more of those, inhaling up and over with the arms. And exhale, just rolling down, vertebrae by vertebrae, arms following you. Then just lift your bottom on the inhale. Keep pressing big toe, little toe down. Press the back of your pelvis towards your knees. So you come up in towards the back bend. And then bring your hands underneath you if you can and interlock the hands, pressing little finger side of the hand to the mat. So as if you're trying to lengthen your hands towards your heels. And then again, we've got the big toe, heel pressing down to the mat. We've got that length to the back pelvis. We're opening the front of those hips. And we feel like we're bringing our heart space to the chin, but not the chin to the heart. So the back pelvis has length, there's no strain in the lower back. And then a couple of deep breaths there, really feeling the legs work strongly. And then exhale, release the hands and roll the spine back down. And then just leave the legs as they are, and you can draw the knees over to one side, and then back to center and over to the other side. You can bring your arms to shoulder height here. Just do that a couple of side, up to center, and over to the other side, just easing out your back. And then we can just hold it on the one side, and you can take the lower foot and take it onto the top knee if it's comfortable. Now, if that hurts the knee or the back doesn't like it, just go back to where you were. If you are doing this, keep the length to your back of your pelvis, keep your sit bones long, and then just breathe here. Just feel the breath down that thigh, into the back, round your hip. And then inhale, release, bring it back to center, and take it over to the other side. Again, that lower foot can just come onto the knee if it's okay for the knee. Keep that lower long, try not to take it in your back. And keep the shoulders broad and heavy. And just breathe there. And then come up on the inhale, release. And we'll just do one glute stretch. So take your right ankle to your left knee. And then you can thread the hands through and hold the back of the other leg, of your left leg. Try and keep the head down if you can. And then you can press that right leg away from you as you draw in on the left leg. So this leg can be bent, or you can straighten that leg if you want to. Just play with it again, see how it feels. If it's not working to have both hands around the back of that left leg, you can press the right leg away with the right hand and pull the left leg in with the left hand. So just feel like you're meeting that edge again. You should be feeling it somewhere around the glute, around the outer hip. Good, and then let's just swap it over, take the other side. Good, so left ankle to right knee. Pulling that right leg in gently, pressing that left leg away. Mindful of our knee. If we feel it in the knee, we don't want to exacerbate that. You can keep the toes turned back on that leg on the top side, protect the meniscus a little in the knee. And just breathe here. So you want to feel like you're pressing the one leg away as you pull the other leg in. And just keep an eye on the neck, on the jaw. Make sure you're not taking tension in that space. And then release. And then just, perhaps you want to just swivel the hips again a little. Perhaps you want to rock the knees a bit. And then just come to rest. Good, so you can take the legs out straight. You can rest with the feet wide and the knees dropping in. Take the arms out a little away from you. Close your eyes. Just take a big breath into your body. Feel like you're filling the whole of your chest, and exhale it out the mouth. Big sigh. Just do that a couple of times. Breathe in. Fill your whole body up. And exhale it all out the mouth. Once more. And as you exhale, just let the bones go heavier on the mat. And then you can just rest there for a couple of minutes if you want to. Just let the body settle down. Or if you need to rush on, you can just roll to one side and find your way up. And thank you very much. Just bye from Harry. A nice, easy stretching session just to try and get through the hamstrings, groins, and a little bit of the front of your hips as well. Your hip flexors roll to the side and come up. Good.
Okay. Wow, there's some good stuff there. I think we'd all do well to revisit that again every day, I think. Next week is going to be our last one live, but then this has been the 12th week, I think. So there'll be 13 that you can keep going through, and we'll put together a short routine, pre-sailing routine that you can do to keep you going. So thanks very much. And again, thanks to Karen for taking us through that. Fabulous Karen, yes. Okay.